Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex and this is Big Baby Reviews. Today's Tuesday, so it is Sam Keith Day. We're looking at the last issue that I have of the MAXX series from Image Comics. Now, obviously what you're seeing here is the IDW version of kind of the remixed version of the MAXX that came out a few years ago. Not the original Image series. This is the only issue where I kind of said, okay, well, it's available, wasn't too expensive, and I really don't have access to the original issue 32, really hard to find, really expensive probably because of a low print run. And I'm sorry, it was called Maximized. There, I see it on the side there, pretty small. So, you know, just for the last issue of reviewing an issue of the MAXX, because the last issue I believe is issue 35 and I don't have anything past 32. Not going to be a super long review because this issue is, again, kind of a good example of what I didn't like about the MAXX and why I stopped collecting it. It's pretty much the epitome of that. So it's kind of a good way to cap it off. I think I'll just put it this way. To me, the MAXX had a lot of promise for what I was expecting out of it, and it didn't really deliver on that. And going back, what I realized is on Sunday, I will have reviewed, if you watch the Sunday edition, the Wildcard Sunday, the Wizard number 16, I reviewed that. And that had a lot of promise and kind of got me into Sam Keith and the MAXX. I'm like, who's this guy? And at that time, Darker Image was supposed to come out, and eventually the MAXX came out. Number 1 came out first before Darker Image, I think, but whatever. At that moment, he was still doing stuff on Marvel Comics Presents, and I reviewed these. I forget what it was called exactly. It was with Nightmare, and there was Wolverine and Venom, right, in kind of the dream world. And I guess really what happened is I associated the art for the early MAXX stuff with what I was seeing in that Marvel Comics Presents run that I was collecting at the time. And I was kind of expecting that same kind of thing. You know, Wolverine and Venom in some sort of dreamland, the Nightmares created for them, is pretty similar to the original concept of the MAXX and being in a dreamlike world in the Outback, right? So I guess I was set up to kind of expect the same. And the series quickly morphed into something quite different. Those first few issues were pretty fun, and then, you know, there's a few kind of callback issues that I talked about past in the review around issue 20 or something that kind of harken back to those kind of cool moments and give us a bit of that. But just overall, I gotta say the series was just not what I expected, I guess. You know, it's not to say that it's good or bad. You know, I'm sure some people love it. It's just not what I was expecting. I was really expecting that Marvel Comics Presents vibe, not even the Blood Hungry stuff, but specifically the Venom, Wolverine bit right before he left Marvel, I think is the best stuff he did, and Darker Image, and, you know, maybe the first 2 or 3 issues of the MAXX is my kind of sweet spot for Sam Keith. Just wanted to mention that, you know, because this is going to be the last review of the MAXX, and then we're going to move on to some other Sam Keith stuff that he's done since, and eventually when we run out of that, we'll move on to another artist. So that's it for the MAXX. It's going to be a pretty short review because, again, indicative of everything I kind of don't like about the end of the series or near the end of the series. Say the second half of the series, however you want to put it, is pretty much what we get in this issue here. Story and art by Sam Keith, finishes by Jim Sinclair, still like at Image Comics, but colors by Rhonda Pattison. That's the big difference with this series, I think, is it was recolored by this Rhonda Pattison lady. And originally I'm going to assume that the colors was Steve Oliff all the way to the end. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they got to the end with pretty much the same creative team, except for Bill Messner-Loebs, who dropped out a few issues earlier, if I'm not mistaken. I know I reviewed the first issue, I realized where he wasn't on there, so somewhere in there. Issue 32 cover checklist. Okay, so I guess they were, yeah, of course, variant covers, yeah. Anyways, again, this won't be a long review. Art-wise, I got nothing to say. There is more of a kind of more storytelling, I guess, in this issue, I could say. You get a big kind of splashy shot here and her here with her inhaler. But you'll get more pages like this and actually a pretty big panel count overall and a lot of stuff to read. This almost, like, with this issue to me, it seems almost more like an underground comic of just, you know, your basic cast of normal human characters than anything fantastic or anything to do with the MAXX himself. Again, this will be one of those issues where the MAXX is not even in it. So again, art-wise, I got nothing bad to say. Advancing, I guess, a lot of the story here near the ending of the series is what's going on. But yeah, just basically a lot of shots of people talking in this issue. Right? Not a lot of action, nothing too dynamic, no images that stand out. It's a very kind of storytelling issue and not a visual one, I guess. That's how I would describe it anyways. So got some interesting kind of slightly not cartoony, but I forget the word. Anyways, when you draw someone and kind of exaggerate their traits and stuff, I don't know why it's not coming to me right now. Let me know in the comments. Caricature. Haha, boom. So yeah, a caricature of someone, I think. Maybe he knows or he based it on, right? Exaggerated, of course. And yeah, at this point, you know, I don't mind a few pages like this, but when we get down to this kind of lots to read, just a kind of a statted image over and over, there's still some, you know, character movement, but yeah, just this has really become something else than its original, and I don't want to say intent, but its original promise. And that's again why I'm not so interested in it myself. As much as I'd love to always do positive reviews, guys, it's just, you know, it's a question of honesty. You know, if I'm positive about an issue, I'll be positive about it, and I'll say it. But just something like this just does not appeal to me in any way. And again, nothing wrong really with the art. It's just kind of boring, I guess, is how I would describe it. And that's about the extent of what we get of the MAXX in this issue. Is a preview of the next issue's cover with him on it. Whether or not he's in the actual comic, I have no idea. So kind of ends this on a low note, other than saying that this very small image here of the Bebop and Rocksteady destroy everything looks kind of interesting. If maybe I'll look into it. If the cover artist is also the artist in the interiors, I might be interested in checking that out. And that's about the only positive I really got out of this issue here. Personally during this review. There goes the universe. Yeah, like the art here looks pretty cool, even though it's not the same artist. So I should maybe look into that. I'm curious. It looks fun. IDW seems to be putting out some good stuff. Some of the coloring though is just, ugh, man, just not for me. Winona Earp. Who's your dada? All right, well, I guess that's where we're going to leave it, guys. Sorry for the short review today. I'll be coming back next week with some Sam Keith stuff that I think maybe has a little more meat on the bone and maybe holds more interest for me and for you guys, hopefully. And if that doesn't work, and maybe we'll cut to a different artist sooner rather than later. But anyways, that's how we're going to cap off our review here at Big Baby Reviews of the MAXX series. Thoughts, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments below. Those of you who are subscribed, who are still watching, thank you so much for being there. Appreciate your support. Those of you who are watching videos and are not subscribed yet, please do so below. It only takes a second, really helps the channel out, helps get us out there to other like-minded people who are into the same thing that we are, basically comic books, right? Everyone out there, have an awesome day.
Like! Subscribe! Like! Subscribe!
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at KINGCOMICS.CA, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.